Joesthetics died this week. But how does a 30-year-old just drop dead? Well, today that's what we're here to find out. Sometimes also known as Joe Lindner, the guy who did that weird thing where his chest weight literally just stopped, crammed up and went. He did that mad ripple effect with his chest and his arms and stuff, and that's what he ultimately built up his, I think, his 8 million strong follower count. Now, a lot of people thought this was eye-catching, it was trendy. It was actually a disease that was caused by chronic cramping and rippling through the arms, the chest, his legs. I can't remember the name of it, but nothing that you probably wish for if you cramped up constantly all the time, although it was his showpiece. So what caused Joe's death? A lot of people in the fitness industry have jumped to his defense to claim that it was nothing to do with steroids and nothing to do with gear. The potential cause of his death was indicated and highlighted by his girlfriend as potentially being an aneurysm. Almost like if you imagine a balloon being blown up and then there's a weak point within inside that balloon and it pops. That's what happens in the swelling or the bulge of a wall in a blood vessel or an artery, and this is potentially how Joe died. Now, obviously what steroids do, they raise and promote fluid retention, sometimes worsen it, and also higher blood pressure, which potentially contributes to the fact that Joe's aneurysm will still have and be tied to steroid use. Now, the use of anabolic steroids, which Joe's admitted to before, can often raise the fluid retention inside the body, as well as raising blood pressure, which ties into potentially the pressure built up for an aneurysm. It also, there's some studies which from the National Institute of Health have shown that anabolic steroids and androgenic steroids abuse can promote and can be connected and correlated to acute thrombosis. Slightly different to what Joe's girlfriend has potentially indicated. Thrombosis occurs when blood clots and blocks veins and arteries and symptoms, which is sometimes causes issues with the heart and can be exacerbated by steroid abuse. And people jump into Joe's defense saying, well, it couldn't have been steroids. Usually, if we hear hooves outside, it's fucking horses. And exactly the same as when people say, well, just because I'm fat, that wasn't the reason why he passed away. It was a heart attack. Yes, but it was the reason of you being fat or obese that caused these cardiovascular diseases, which led to a heart attack and led to death. Now, we also have evidence that Joe has before and previous to his gear usage now, which he said he's currently taking TRT dosage, which can be, now TRT dosage can be anywhere from sort of 100 to 200 milligrams per week, but it's Joe's previous abuse of anabolic steroids which causes serious questions here. Now, I want us to watch this clip from Bradley Martin they did from a podcast maybe a few months ago to a year ago.
But have you ever done more or less? Like,
to be honest, I did all kinds of crazy shit, let's say, in the past and stuff.
Yeah.
I've tried different dosages. Like, the highest kind of test that I ever ran was 750.
So the highest he went up was 750 milligrams a test. Based on the fact he's doing 100 to 200 milligrams maybe per week on TRT, and the average for most guys doing testosterone is going to be about 300 to 500. He's going above and beyond with testenthanate as a starting place.
750, and like I did never use one single compound more than 600 milligrams, so like 700 milligrams a test. And then like the craziest cycle that I probably did was that stupid coach back in the days also who put me on 100 milligrams of...
Fuck me. So Tren, for anyone who doesn't know, is basically a horse steroid. And most guys, from what I've looked at with Tren, because I've never taken Tren before, most guys who take Tren will do about 100 to 250 milligrams per week. Joe was doing 100 milligrams per day, and there's going to be knock-on effects from taking steroids at this kind of level, at this kind of dose, and they're going to be effects that will be lifelong and lasting. So if you're going to fuck about, you're going to find out.
So that adds up like 700. Yeah.
Damn.
That was a sick cycle, man. Yeah, I was 105 kg in the start of diet, down to like 102.
So basically he was just a big saucy fucker pumping loads of gear, which he'd potentially come down on, maybe due to finding out about some underlying health defects or issues that we don't know about. So to say that Joe's steroid abuse had nothing to do with his death or correlated to the potential aneurysm is like saying, well, I threw a brick at his head, but that doesn't mean it killed him. We need to fucking wake up a little bit. It doesn't matter if we like people and we jump to people's defense. I'm a big fan of Joe's. I think he's done a lot of good things for the fitness industry. I think he's opened a lot of doors for people. I think he's just a general positive, high energy guy, which a lot of people really liked and warm to. I would also compare him a little bit to like an Arnold Schwarzenegger personality and character. He had that strange kind of voice. He had that weird personality, super down to earth, a little bit geeky, but obviously in just unbelievable shape. But just like Arnold also obviously abused steroids. He was in a career of professional bodybuilding for many years, which then also led to, I think, having a triple heart bypass, which again, he denied having anything to do with steroids. But with steroids having a large and profound impact on the heart, blood vessels, and potential clots and clogs. Again, it's impossible to say that steroids had no impact on Arnold's open heart bypass surgery. But when it boils down to it, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do with your life. It's your life. If you want to do steroids, if you want to do coke, if you want to go out and drink every weekend and put yourself into a hole, that's completely up to you, and nobody can tell anybody how to live. It's also very, very sad news that someone, or a 30-year-old guy has passed away, who obviously had a lot of potential and was doing a lot of positive things in life. But I'm sure more evidence will prevail once the post-mortem's done. But I just wanted to discuss the fact today. I don't advocate to people to take steroids. I've done steroids in the past. I've taken quite a large amount of steroids in the past as well. But for me to say that they have no future knock-on effect on my health would be very impractical. I'm sure in the long term, those impacts that my steroid abuse from many years ago had will be minimal, but I can't say they will have no future impact whatsoever. Again, like Joe, I'm someone who went and got my bloods done regularly, so I was very on top of the things that I was doing, very in tune with my body. But this reminds me of very much like the Ziz era of when he passed away, of when people jumped to his defense saying it wasn't steroids, he had a heart attack in a sauna because of the heat. At the end of the day, the guy was taking lots of different substances, was taking testosterone, was taking Clen, was taking Winstrol, was taking T3s, and all these things are going to some point catch up with people, no matter how strong they look, no matter how good they look. And this is the big takeaway from the video, is that it doesn't matter what your external body looks like. It doesn't matter how big you are, strong you are, lean you are, fast you are, hard you are. They still fall the same if you don't look after what's going on inside, and the biggest muscle of them all.